I have said all along that Declan Kidney would have known his 30 a week ago, 10 days ago. I think that's not true on this occasion. I'd say two major changes happened this weekend, literally. One, as Oisín has alluded to, Jordan Murphy, who I understand was actually told he wasn't going, would have been told, look, Felix Jones is hurt and you're travelling. The alternative for Kidney would have been to say, take Luke Fitzgerald as a utility man to cover fullback and travel with just one fullback. Fitzgerald's form has been so poor that wasn't an option, so therefore I think Kidney very belatedly, I think in the last 24 hours, has gone for Jordan Murphy. I think the biggest surprise of the whole squad, O'Leary, who 48 hours ago Kidney probably penciled in to start against Australia in the World Cup, doesn't even make the plane. And I think that is purely and simply a result of his performance Saturday. I think Saturday's match, in my experience, I've never seen it happen before. That one single game in a warm-up series at this late stage probably affected the selection in two places.
Well, people always wonder what the value of those games being played is in the first place. I suppose we've just seen it. The inclusion of Conor Murray at scrum half, your thoughts on that?
I'm thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled, because I think Conor Murray will be the first choice in the Six Nations come February. Just the other ones that people will be worrying about, because all the usual suspects are obviously travelling. He's gone for a 16-14 split. Some people wonder would he go 17-13. Donnacha Ryan is travelling as the utility second row, back row. Of course, he's taken three hookers, Court, Best and Flannery. He has also decided to travel with just one open side flanker, David Wallace, who hasn't played a game yet. And Tony Buckley, to my not surprise but disagreement, is going in ahead of John Hayes.
If Conor Murray is picked, which he has been, to go to New Zealand, surely now he has to start against England next week to give him game time and to let him get used to his backline.
Oh, I would think he will start against England. I would think that's a near certainty. It would be astonishing that he would not, because not only is he on the plane to New Zealand, he's going now as a possible test starter. Because I think he's going in probably second place rather than third, funny enough. I think he's in ahead of Boss, who will be a horses for courses kind of scrum half. Redden is now number one. So that means that Murray may well start against England and the USA.
John Hayes, George, is this the end for John Hayes?
Well, like 38 years of age. Had he travelled, he would have done, and he would have had an extraordinary achievement of not only being the oldest man at this World Cup, but he had been the oldest one 4 years ago at that World Cup. So to be the oldest man at two World Cups is some performance.
Some achievement.
But it's interesting in the case of the man, because I've been a critic of him as a player, but never as a man. Over 100 caps, extraordinary. He came back in a way for Ireland's cause, really. Kidney asked him to make himself available for this World Cup, and Hayes answered that call.
Finally, George, we went 8 points up on Saturday. Everybody went, this is fantastic, this is how we should be playing rugby, and then it went badly wrong. I think it was 22 points before we even responded again. Based on that performance and based on the squad that we know now, is it worth our while even going to New Zealand?
No, I actually think this squad raises the Hook Happiness Index about 3 or 4 points, because what it shows, the real worry was, and what Saturday demonstrated, was the innate conservatism of Kidney. What we're seeing is a possibility against Australia of a Jordan Murphy who would give us a whole new attacking from the back, with a young Turk at Murray at scrum half. I want David Wallace to be fit. And at the moment, my mother, who had a great devotion to St. Anthony in the Holy Trinity Church in Cork, I am now going to make a pilgrimage to Cork. But you can do it for me, actually, Jonathan.
Well, I'm down.
Okay, 14 candles in front of St. Anthony in the Holy Trinity Church in Cork, that Mike Ross doesn't come off in any vital match.
George, a question for the people who are the uninitiated, the people who aren't Alaka-doos. What does Ireland have to do? They've one hard game, very hard game against Australia, but what do they have to do in the other games in order to get past the first stage?
Well, you have to assume they're going to meet the minnows of the USA and Russia. Although, you remember 4 years ago, a former Russian Soviet satellite, Georgia, put us to the pin of our collar.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like to think, I presume the masters are better than the pupils, so so therefore Russia could trouble us. But realistically, my bet at this stage, Damien, if you fancy popping around the corner to your bookie, would be we lose to Australia, and on the 2nd of October in Dunedin, every known part of my body will be crossed that we can beat Italy and therefore meet South Africa, who did really well against New Zealand at the weekend and are coming good at just the right time. And I also watched Invictus last night, so I'm even more concerned about South Africa. If Morgan Freeman is in charge of South Africa, we could be in trouble, because certainly Peter de Villiers is not a good coach. They might be better going for Morgan Freeman.